stream awkwardness while we wait for a few people to come in. Check it out.
Thought we were done with this, but no.
Well, partially.
There should be music so that we can have a dance portion for the.
I know there should.
Yes, exactly.
For sure. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Devin Shears. I'm the Director of Programming and Communications for the Nickel Independent Film Festival. Welcome to our live stream trailer reveal, where we're showing you our new trailer for our new festival that's happening next week at the LSPU Hall and online. So we still have the online portion for those of you who loved that, but we will also be returning to a real actual cinema space, which we're really excited
Believable.
about. And on top of that, unbelievable. And on top of that, we are everything is pay what you can. So yeah, we're really excited about it. And just to kick things off, I'm going to hand it over to Elling Leon, the Executive Director of the Nickel. Hi, Elling.
Hey. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Yeah, really excited to be back in person and both online at the same time. Like online has proven that we're able to reach so many people in different geographic areas, which is really very exciting for Newfoundland and Labrador, which is a very large area. So it's nice to be able to cover that. And really glad to be back in person, like have that sweet in-person vibe. Yeah, have so many people to thank. Just want to run through all the sponsors. Thank you to our major funders. Like they make it possible because we pay screening fees and we have actual costs, but we make everything pay what you can just for accessibility. But these people and organizations help us make that possible. The Canada Council for the Arts, Arts NL, the Newfoundland and Labrador Arts Council, Government of Newfoundland and Labrador, Department of Tourism, Culture, Industry, and Innovation. That's always a mouthful. Wonder if they'll shorten it one day. The Department of Canadian Heritage through their CAPF program. The NLFDC, the Newfoundland and Labrador Film Development Corporation, they help us with specifically our workshops during the festival and throughout the year. Telefilm Canada, they're a newer funder for us, but we're very excited to have them on. And the City of St. John's. This year we have presenting sponsors for some of the screenings. CBC Newfoundland and Labrador, College of the North Atlantic, NIFCO, the Newfoundland Independent Filmmakers Co-op, Coast 101.1 FM Classic Hits, Coast, love that. Again, good vibes. The Kitty Vitty Brewery as well. And thank you to our other sponsors and community partners, Budden and Associates, ACTRA, Newfoundland and Labrador, IATSE Local 709, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, Piatto Pizzeria, Pope Productions, the Directors Guild of Canada, the Newfoundland and Labrador chapter, the Newfoundland Distillery Company, the Battery Cafe, Sheila O'Leary, Neighborhood Dance Works, the St. John's International Women's Film Festival, Eastern Edge Gallery, and Destination St. John's. Thank you to all of them for being so great to us. Thank you. Yeah, what now? Well, I think we have a trailer to show.
We do. So yeah, we're going to show our trailer for the festival. Then we're going to talk to Tim Conway, our head of our programming committee, a little bit about what to look forward to this year. And then we have a couple conversations with two of the filmmakers behind some of the films that you can see at the festival. So without further ado, let's look at the trailer.
another video started. Oh, it's Devin. Where did Devin go? Oh, he's been having internet trouble, so I'm happy to fill in for him. Yes, Jenny. So it's the first person I want to talk to today is Jenny Williams. So welcome for joining us today. And it's Naluyuk Night.
Naluyuk Night, yeah.
Naluyuk Night. Really excited to have your documentary in our festival. And so what is Naluyuk Night?
Naluyuk Night is a tradition that happens every year in Nain, Nunatsiavut on January 6th. And it's a tradition that's still going strong there. And so I did a short film after doing 12 years of documenting the tradition through photography first. And then at the end of that, I did a short film about the tradition.
And like what, well, it's been a tradition for a long time, but what made you want to tell this story? What to explore this idea?
Well, I found it really awesome because it's a tradition that's still going so well over the years. Like it doesn't seem like it's fading out like some are, like it's still really strong. But also I wanted to do a film about it because I was doing a lot of photography exhibits, and so I was having my black and white photography shown in exhibits, and where it's so different, and a lot of people have never heard of the tradition before, and it's so unique and mostly unheard of anywhere. Even in a lot of people in Newfoundland and Labrador have never even heard of it, mostly Newfoundland. But so people would always ask me like so many questions about it, and like after or during the exhibit, and I would just have like a short time, like, you know, when you're just having a quick chat with someone and you don't have time to finish, like, you know, this takes longer than that to explain about what the tradition's about. So I thought if I make a short film about it, and I'll be able to explain the whole night and even go through the night. And because the way that I did the film is like you're actually there, like I wanted to make people feel like they were there. And even though it's a documentary, it's more like you're actually there in the night, like experiencing it. And I did it in black and white, so it's very similar to my photography, if anyone's ever seen my photography. So I wanted to explain the night, but I wanted to make it artistic. And so I just have a little bit of words throughout the film. I don't have a lot of, I don't have narration or anything. It's just some sentences here and there, just so people have a better idea of what the night means.
Amazing. It's so scary. It really takes you through that experience. It's unusual to have a documentary that's scary like that. And so why black and white? What do you like about black and white photography first, and I guess film after?
I like it because I find it really shows like what you're want to concentrate on, like not so much everything around it, but like when you see it black and white, and it's really like dramatic. And also where it's a scary film, I like the way black and white looks, like for the feel of that. Like it's scary. The film is scary, but it's also throughout there's like, it's funny sometimes, it's scary, it's like absolutely adorable in some parts. It's like exciting, like chasing, giving treats, just so many emotions. It's like all the emotions in one, but it's scary overall. Yeah.
And what was it like? This must have been a very big community of like event, the filming of it. Like what was it like working with the community?
It was great working with the community. They've known me wandering around on Naluyuk Night every year for many, many years. So it wasn't new to them or anything. It wasn't new for them to see me out filming it. because I was doing it every year just with a regular camera. But that year it was a video camera. Well, I had 2 camera guys, 1 sound guy, and my producer and me directing it. And that was the whole crew. And we filmed the whole film in 2 nights, because the actual night was our only chance to film it, because we filmed it on the actual tradition, on the actual night of January 6th. So a lot of the stuff that you see in the film is the actual real life tradition. Like, it's not, it's not a whole bunch of stage things or actors or anything. It's like the majority of it's the real thing, like the real night. So it was filmed in like -40 or more weather, and
Oh my God.
yeah, and I used a couple times I had to use like a little bit of one light, but like most of it was filmed with natural light, like street lights and skidoo lights. That's it. Like, I know from previous years the way that I was taking photos was no flash or anything like that, like real, the light that I could see happening throughout the town, skidoos, street lights, like just, I would time it right. Like, I would time it right for when the skidoo was coming up behind a Nelly Oak or something like that. So it's all like, from my years of experience doing photography, that's what I used to do this film.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you got like so many awesome shots, and I guess you're just like paying attention, like so careful. You're thinking ahead so much and just seizing on these moments immediately as soon as they show up, I suppose. It's so cool. Yeah, I have a clip of it lined up. Maybe we can take a look at that. Amazing. Just those people walking towards you.
Yeah, they're pretty scary.
But it's so cool. So cool. Devin, did you have any other questions?
Hi, I'm back. So sorry. Testament to how excited we are to be back in person, dealing with these kinds of things less. No, I guess I think Ellen covered a lot. I think it's a really beautiful film, really like cinematic and evocative, which you don't like. Sometimes that can be really challenging in a documentary. So I just want to thank you for sharing it with us, and I really hope people come out and see it. It's
a film that there's never been a film that's been made about this. So what they see and what they're coming to see is the first time they'll ever see something like this on a film.
Well, so excited. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Yes, thank you all for your patience while my internet just suddenly stops working, even though it's been fine all the time. Anyways, okay. Well, I guess if with that, maybe we'll talk about A Small Fortune. Is Adam still here? I'm on my phone now, so I can't see who's here.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hey, yeah.
Nice to
So we
meet
have
you.
Adam Perry, the writer and director of A Small Fortune, which is a feature film that's playing at the Hall only, theater exclusive, and that's Friday, June 17th at 9:30 p.m. Maybe before we start chatting, Ellen, do you mind firing up the trailer for the film? Ellen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
We need to start planning here.
You think I can just jump on a plane and make us rich?
I would settle for a crib and a box of diapers.
Just want to be a good dad.
You will be.
Let's say you were broke, down on your luck. Then one day you find some money. Would you keep it?
I mean, we'll have to draw the line somewhere, right?
How much would I need to find before I didn't tell anybody?
Where'd the money come from?
Did you find my money? Because that's why I'm here.
How common is this?
Put that away.
Are we in danger? He was hiding something from me. I think he stole that man's money.
You just come home. I gotta tell you something.
You're in the deep end now. I hope you can swim.
So intense, even just watching it on my little phone screen here. You really feel it. I guess we got a sense of it from the trailer, but Adam, can you tell us a little bit about what A Small Fortune is, what it's about?
Sure thing. So honored to be a part of the festival this year.
We're so happy to have you.
I just want to say this film wouldn't have been possible without the talents of Newfoundland, and there's so much talent up there. And a lot of people may know this already or may not, but it is a co-production between Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland. Mm-hmm. And the movie is about a struggling Irish moss harvester named Kevin Doucette, who has been trying to make a living doing what his father did, which was raking Irish moss out of the ocean on Prince Edward Island. It was a good way to supplement your income, but about 20 years ago, the Irish moss stopped coming to shore, and it became a very difficult way to earn a living, let alone supplement any sort of income. And the movie is about a guy at a crossroads who needs to make a decision to either give up Irish moss and head out west to greener pastures, or try and stay in his family home and try and raise a child. And that's kind of where the movie starts, is him trying to make that decision until one day he finds a bag of cash in his scoop behind his horse, and decides to keep it a secret from everyone, including his wife, and tries to make a living off this bag of money while making everyone think that he's just successful with the Irish moss. It's a thriller, as you can probably tell from the trailer. Joel Thomas Hines plays the bad guy in it, and it's just it's a small town story, but it's based in reality. It's a very true, honest portrayal of a life that could exist here on PEI and probably does. And it was written with that in mind. But when it came to production, we knew we needed some help, and fit that bill nicely. So
I'm sure there's a lot more, but in the cast, Stephen Oates, who people might know from Fire in the Cold Season, Incredible Violence, many others. Joel Hines, who of course needs, like I think everyone here knows Joel Hines, and Stephen Lush I saw also in there, who's he's always like he's so good at being terrifying. Yeah, was there anything that drew you to and of course Mary Sexton as one of the producers of the film, Justin Oki as the editor? Is there anything that drew you to drawing so much from the Newfoundland film community?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with how the movie ended up getting made. Because it required a bigger budget, we needed to team up with someone that had experience, and Mary Sexton kind of fit that bill. And when it came time to finance the film, she could rely on her resources in the Newfoundland Film Development Corporation, thank you very much, for building this partnership between our company on Prince Edward Island and Mary's company and Telefilm. There's just a lot of partners at play here that we kind of navigated the financing and the production into what it needed to be in order to get made. And I knew going in that Newfoundland had a great resource of talented people that could do this job for us. But also I looked at it as a learning opportunity. This is my first feature film at this level. And I kind of knew going into it what needed to be done. It was just a matter of doing it, and there's a lot of steps here that I'd never done before. So throw in a global pandemic on top of that, and my inability to travel to Newfoundland and meet all these talented individuals. So I had many calls and Zoom meetings, but Andrew Staniland is the composer, and I worked with him closely. I worked with Justin Oki closely. But it was a lot of notes back and forth and phone calls and a lot of problem solving that could take minutes in person and was taking days. So post-production was as amazing as it was and as great of a job as everyone did. It took a lot longer than we had anticipated.
One thing I think is interesting about your film, and I think maybe you correct me if I'm wrong, but here in Newfoundland, there's often this image of us that's like very like picturesque, squeaky clean, bright and beautiful, and I think there's like a big like almost push against that in a lot of filmmaking. Justin Oki's films, for example, are a big one, but also Crown and Anchor is another one. Was that kind of something you were thinking about as well? That like when I think of PEI, I think of the sand dunes and these lovely, these beautiful locations which you have in the film, but also there's this really dark undercurrent as well. Was that something you kind of wanted to bring out?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all seen PEI in its best light, and that serves a purpose for tourism and other specialty markets. But I live here all year round, and I see the darker side of things, and I see community collapsing, and I see lots of men and women without work and leaving PEI, and so it's every place it depends on where your camera's pointed, right, and the light you're using and how many people are smiling in front of your lens. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go there. It's been done before with great success, and the story I wanted to tell was a darker story. And it dealt with some themes that didn't really need, sunsets and beauty of the tranquil, peaceful island that we all know and love. So yeah, it was a conscious decision to take it in a different direction. And I knew that most of the film is going to be shot outdoors anyway. So we're going to capture the beauty of PEI as it is. But I worked closely with Jeff Wheaton, the cinematographer, and I was quite clear, like, you're naturally gifted to make things look good, but don't worry about making it look inviting. Like, let's be honest here and let's show PEI the way it really looks. So that was kind of the direction we went in.
Yeah, and I think that it will really, like you touched upon it, but I think it will really resonate with Newfoundlanders as well. That sense of some old world slipping away from you. and not quite being sure how to go continue from there. So it really is a very excellent film. I'm really excited to share it with people.
Thank you for having it.
Yeah, and you'll be at the screening. You're coming into so if you're watching and you want to come see this film again, this is, most of our films are online, but this is an in theater exclusive, and I think it makes sense because it's really something you want to see at the movie theaters.
Yeah,
So
I'll just add that throughout the whole process of designing the film, it was designed with the cinema in mind.
Yeah.
Mostly, most of it, everything else I've done has been for an online audience, but this is the first time I was thinking much larger, and how do I bring an audience to a theater and keep them entertained for an hour and a half? And the film speaks for itself, but I think we accomplished that goal.
I think so too. So it's Friday night, 9:30 at the LSPU Hall. Nallyuk Nights is Monday, June 13th at 7 p.m. at the Hall. I want to thank both filmmakers for chatting with us today. And I guess, I don't know if we've mentioned yet, Elling, but I know that, our online screenings have been available for reservation now for a few days, but as of 1 p.m. today, if you go to nickelfestival.com, all tickets for all of our in-person screenings will also be available, and they're all pay what you can. So yeah. Have we talked to Tim yet? Cut out. So
we haven't. No, we haven't.
Okay. So for our last conversation today, we're going to speak with Tim Conway, who is the head of our programming committee, works tirelessly to build an incredible program every year. And so yeah, Tim, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
I can't see anything. So
okay. But
Tim,
I'm visible to everyone else, am I?
Yes, I can see you now.
Okay.
Tim,
before you have a question, just a couple of little housekeeping things, trivia kind of in one respect. But I don't know if Adam is aware of this, but Joel and Leanne Balaban, who co-stars in the film, we shared the screen together at the Nickel 14 years ago in Lois Brown's Heartless Disappearance into Labrador Seas, which people had the chance to see 2 years ago, I think, when we
2020, yeah,
the whole retrospective thing, with our first foray online, and in addition to that, because I should have said this before we even started going live, but congratulations to Jenny on her Canada Screen Award.
Yes.
And if you come on opening night and watch her film, you will see exactly why she deserves it. So
it really is it's a stunning film. It's very good.
Yeah. So,
well, speaking of stunning films, Tim, tell us about what's good this year at the Nickel, you think?
Well, considering that no one else is here, only Jenny's film and Adam's film. No, it's not an easy question to answer in fairness, because I just did a little search before we started, and we had about 230 submissions, and whittled those down to about 100, and then sort of figured out what could go where, what should go in, what could go in, if we can find a chance. And when all was said and done, and we pushed things as hard as we could, and risked making an enemy out of Elling and his budget, we still are left with we're still left with 40 films that we wanted to put in the festival that won't get screened, and about 12 hours worth of material. And so it only goes to show that you really can't say, yes, there might be one or two that are my favorites, or these are the films you should go see. But once all of the committee sort of came together and fought it out, and due to restrictions, we couldn't do the cage match that we usually do. So there were no injuries. But we came up with a program that that works, and one of the focuses that we have when we're putting a schedule together is, and partly it grew out of that question of, like, what's the best night, or what's the film I got to go see? And it was kind of hard to do that. We didn't like, on the board level, we didn't like answering that question. And we also, because a lot of the board members, our board is kept basically at arm's length from this, because most of them are filmmakers, and so you don't want any conflict of interest. So to make things easy, our whole program is designed that the best night is any night. And yeah, if you can go through the synopses that are listed in our printed program, or the online version of it, and find something that looks interesting to you, 9 chances out of 10, that show will contain a bunch of films that are meant to support it and complement it or contrast it, and you will get something that the show itself should be of interest to you. There'll probably be something there you won't like, because we are a film festival. We are supposed to, or
We gotta ruffle feathers.
We should try to, stretch things a bit. But at the same time, it's not like we go out of our way to provoke people either. So it's really meant to be the appreciation of independent film that the whole thing started as. So I can just quickly run down through and even there's so much to say about what
I know. Maybe are there maybe like 3, like if there were 3 like hidden gems that you would recommend to people? Well,
but they're all,
what do you think?
They're all hidden gems.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: we do a festival every year. Every year gives us a brand new box of chocolates.
Yeah.
But we don't have, all we have is little names on them, and the names don't really tell us anything about what's in that 15 to 90 minutes of film.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm just looking at opening night here now, and we're starting off with an animated film. We had a lot of animation in this year, and what's really interesting about the animation is, like Jenny was talking about with her film, where she spent so much time in black and white photography, and then was able to take those skills and apply it to a documentary. And we're starting off on opening night with Bistro Girls from Jenna Marks, who had showed a film here a few years ago that I think might have been our first one. And this time we have a stop motion animated film that's also a documentary. So she actually does interviews with 2 separate women about their work. One is an exotic dancer. The other one is plays and sings piano in a bar, and takes those interviews and presents them through stop motion animation into something that's beautiful and imaginative and creative. And in 5 minutes, it just, I can't say blows your mind, but gives you a perspective of you can do within animation. There's so much potential to do something new. And when Walt Disney's been making cartoons for years, yet at the same time, this 5-minute little film gives us something completely different from anything we've seen before. So it's a unique experience.
I think that you could say that for like so much of what is always in the Nicole, like it's about showing people things maybe they haven't seen before, and along with things from their own community, which I think is what people love about it.
And at the same time, from our own community, we can, like the film that follows that up, Father Like Son, is a film where a filmmaker has to go back to her family farm during the pandemic so she can be in safe surroundings, and there's no safer place to be during a pandemic than on the family farm, because at least you you'll get fed. And you have this intimate, loving portrait of 3 generations of the family. And a lot of these things reminded me of the way that I grew up, where we had farm animals and that kind of thing, and everybody had a job. And to see a young fella 8 years up, well, Dad so generously waited until I left the house before he bought a tractor, so all our hay was cut by hand.
Yes, I know the feeling, Tim.
Yeah,
Didn't get a microwave until we long left the house. Or
but in
dishwasher.
this case, you've got an 8-year-old kid who's, you know, learning how to drive a tractor, and a little girl who's learning how to skin a buffalo. And you know, so there are all these connections to, in one sense, to the way people live here, the way people live somewhere else, but also the way of looking at things. And I think that's like each one of these films offers something like that. You know, I mean, even if you look at the film that comes after that we play after that on opening night, Ken Harvey's film is an interpretation, a film interpretation of a Walt Whitman poem using opera and a cello. And it's like each one of these is a gem. And just like Jenny's film on opening night, I mean, if for nothing else, go see that. And in that vein, we also have, and it's something that we tried to do from the festival at the festival in the very beginning, was acknowledge the various artistic disciplines that go into the film, into making film, because it's hardly ever a one-man show, and sometimes if it is, it shouldn't be. But you have music, you have writing, you have performers, so you're basically coalescing all the different talents from various different artistic disciplines into one finished cohesive product. And this year, and usually we would do things like have a poetry reading at the beginning of the show, or have a dance piece at the beginning of the show, or something like that. But all throughout our program this year, we had these films that have that actually pay tribute to those on their own. So we have say
Just
like
a
this
note, Andrew Stanland, who did the music for Lacrimosa, the film about Walt Whitman, also did the music for Small Fortune.
Exactly. And on closing, on closing night on Saturday, we have like Ian Foster's film. That is it a film with lots of music in it, or is it a music film with or is it music with film to back it up, or is it just this cohesive thing? We have the poetry presented in Ken's film Lacrimosa, and we also have a film from Iceland that night, an animated film that, again, it's kind of poetic, that throws us back to the film that Bistro Girls Jenna Marks had done a few years ago. It's sort of kind of a poetry thing going on there. But we have a number of dance films, or films with dance in them. A couple of films from New Zealand that are cinematic interpretations of poems. But again, you look at it as what's driving what. It turns out that in both of these cases, the film aspect of it seems to be drawing the poem in, as opposed to or again, is the poem driving the film. So there's all that stuff. And then we have some great documentaries, like Jenny's film and Jenna's film. So 10 minutes later, I still haven't answered your question, which is what are some of the things?
I think you have, which is all of it. And that and this year it's so accessible. You have your options of in-person for most, in-person for everything, and online for most things. all of it is by donation. So, like no reason to not go check out like as much as you can, really.
Yeah, and it's not just, and it's none of it is, not only is it accessible in that regard, but it's all like we're not we don't go for, yes, there are experimental films in here that that are esoteric. There's a bit of everything, but everything, there's nothing that's inaccessible. Like you can,
No.
The worst you'll look at something and say, I don't like it, or you'll look at something and say, I don't know if I got it all. And that's my case most times. You don't know if I got it all, but that was pretty interesting. And we're not, we're not as highbrow as like we're not too proud to say, yes, we're a film festival, but we have a horror night. We have some thrillers like Adam's Film, and we have another one, The Gambler from the UK, which is sort of a dark comedy kind of thing. So no, we want it all. And if you look at closing night, as a matter of fact, there's a Ukrainian animated film in there that has this sort of classic sci-fi vibe that's just even without the storyline, it's a work of art. And then when you throw the storyline into it, is fantastic. And all, like, generally I find that for me personally, dance films are a kind of thing of, oh well, we got to, you got to represent. But this year, all of the stuff that incorporates dance into the film is just, yes, we need more of this. And there's hardly anything in here in this whole program that I wouldn't say, yes, we need more of this. So if Adam could have made another feature film in
make a trilogy
that he had this one, or Jenny could have done another documentary along the lines of what she did. And the thing is we do have complementary things like those, and yeah, it's I'm really happy with it. It's always the thing, you start out wondering how it's going to go, and then when you start getting films, like, what are we going to show on opening night? If you don't show Jenny's film on opening night, then you don't know what you're doing. And same thing with Friday night is a big night because, well, nobody's going to work Saturday. Well, I can't say nobody's going to work Saturday. People work all the time. But I mean, you want to have a great big bang of a film on Friday night, and here's Adam's Film. So we're basically blessed this year, and not that we haven't been previously. And then like, even you look at Friday, our matinee on Friday, we've got like a travel video and a timely
discussion about doctors in the province.
Yeah. Doctors in rural communities. I mean, what else do you want?
It's true. So I think, really something for everyone this year. It's so happy to be back in a theater as well. So thank you so much, Tim, for your words and your work and putting this program together.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thanks for all the work you guys have been doing.
Of course.
Years, and thanks for the people who are making the films. This is what it's all about.
For sure.
It's the opportunity, especially on the local level, and I know it's great for people from other places who can share their films with an audience, because that's generally what anybody wants when they make a film, is to have their film seen. But if you're showing your film, if you're showing a film in your community, it helps build support from the community. Like, and it wouldn't have worked in my case when I finished high school if I actually knew you could actually pursue filmmaking. It just wouldn't have flown. But a lot of times when people want to get into various different artistic disciplines and pursue them, trying to get the support from the family, which is what you need, is kind of difficult. But when you bring them into a theater with a bunch of strangers, turn the lights down, and it shows up on a great big screen, you're halfway home. And all the grants and all of the funders and all the financial support in the world is not going to match having your family look at you and say, there's something to that. Maybe you're not wasting your time. You know?
That's very beautifully said.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But I've seen it happen.
Yeah, no, it's true. I can attest to it. That is the truth. Well, that's a very lovely note.
I think our festival programs just arrived at the door. I have to answer the door. Excuse me.
Well, I think with that, we'll probably. I don't know how to use Zoom on my phone. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. For anyone watching, thank you for watching. Like I said, I believe that all tickets should be available at nickelfestival.com at 1 p.m. Newfoundland time today. And also keep an eye out for our physical program that'll be out there as well. It's a newspaper style program. And yeah, I think we Elling needs to end the live stream, which we can't do. So any final words from anybody?
I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes. We're really excited for you to come, Adam. And there'll be a Q&A after your film. So if what you saw from the trailer is excited you, come and watch the film and then ask Adam a few questions about it. I'm sure we'll all have lots to say.
I've got lots to say. Before theaters, we'll have to get some overtime.
Yes, for sure. I guess while we'll also have some workshops at the festival. We'll have some live readings Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's the 14th to the 16th of scripts that were written for the script writing challenge a couple months ago. We have the sci-fi challenge. That's this weekend. Sci-fi fantasy film challenge. So if you are looking to make a film and want it screened at the hall, you can do that this weekend. That's coming up. You sign up info for that is at nickelfestival.com. And yeah, once your film is made, it'll actually play on the June 19th at the hall in the evening. And we also have our film school in a day that the lineup for that is still to be announced, but there's sure to be some really incredible, exciting workshops from great filmmakers. Oh, including, I guess I can say, Adam. Adam will be taking part in that particular workshop. So if you want to learn about directing from Adam after seeing A Small Fortune, that is one way to do that. And I think that's everything. And I think that now that Elling is back, I think we can probably wrap it up.
Fabulous. Thanks everybody for joining us. Very excited to have you all see the films and be a part of the festival experience. Like Tim was saying, people are taking risks as a filmmaker and putting their work out there, and it's so important to have that shown to people and appreciated. So come on out to the movies.
Yes. All right. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.